business owners and independent contractors. Get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, EU donates €2 million to Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. Toll charges resume on Monday at 12 a.m. Church leaders in Trelawney speak life after the storm. Case students stranded at school after homes were destroyed in western Jamaica. There's also farming forward with Dressel Mills. And in sports, New Zealand defeat the West Indies by 9 runs to take a 2-1 advantage in their 5-match T20 series. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, November 9, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ronaldo Adams. More aid is coming for Jamaica and other Caribbean neighbors impacted by Hurricane Melissa weeks ago. European Union Commissioner for Equality, Preparedness and Crisis Management, Haja Labib, announced that €2 million will be donated to Jamaica and Cuba, each $1 million, and to Haiti as well, for post-hurricane relief. More in this report.
A grateful Jamaican government as the EU Commissioner for Equality, Preparedness and Crisis Management, Ms. Haja Labib, visited the island following the passage of the deadly Category 5 storm recently. Minister of Efficiency, Innovation and Digital Transformation, Ambassador Audrey Marks, joined the delegation from the EU in a media briefing Sunday, reminding locals the EU has been a very present help in Jamaica's troubles.
They were on the scene very early, and it's several countries so far of the EU delegation that they are here, they are on the ground, they are delivering support in the areas of greatest need: field hospitals, generators, logistical tracking systems, and every type of supply that is needed by the most hard-hit communities in the parishes that are quite devastated at this time. We expect not to move from rescue and relief to rebuilding, and the partnership will continue throughout this process.
The EU Commissioner, in commending the Jamaican government and people for their efforts and resilience, notes plans to share €5 million among Jamaica, Cuba and Haiti after the storm.
The EU has also mobilized €5 million in emergency funding to meet the most urgent needs And this includes 2 million euros for Jamaica, 2 million for Cuba, and 1 million for Haiti to help families rebuild, restore basic services, and recover their livelihood. And also today, I'm pleased to announce an additional 1,250,000 euros to support the Red Cross response in Cuba and Jamaica. This includes funding to combat the outbreak of arboviruses in Cuba.
Ms. Labib notes this support as EU solidarity at its best, a partnership worthy of this sort of care and input.
So far, 64 tons have already been distributed. Of course, the situation is very complex. Many areas are still hard to reach, but our partners are doing their best to deliver aid fast, like water, food, shelter, and basic services for those who lost everything. To conclude, I have to say that this is European solidarity at its best. Friends standing together when it matters most. We will keep working side by side with authorities, with you, dear ministers, with EU member states and our humanitarian partners on the ground.
The hurricane has seen extensive destruction across St. Elizabeth and Western Jamaica, with over 30 casualties so far.
Motorists are being advised that toll charges will resume at 12 a.m. on Monday following a temporary suspension due to Hurricane Melissa. The authorities issued the statement on Sunday advising of the change. The resumption affects all major toll roads across the island, including the east-west and north-south corridors. Commuters are being urged to plan accordingly and ensure they have sufficient funds or electronic tags for smooth passage. Toll operators also remind drivers to observe posted speed limits and safety guidelines as cleanup efforts continue in some areas. Students at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education in Portland are struggling to return home after Hurricane Melissa devastated several communities, particularly in Western Jamaica. Some say their families have lost homes and belongings, making the journey back even more difficult. Kevin Black has this report.
My mom is left without a home. She's currently staying with my aunt.
Days after Hurricane Melissa tore across Jamaica, students at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education in Portland are facing a new kind of uncertainty. Many who board here say they simply can't get home, especially those from the island's hard-hit western parishes.
I couldn't get to go down due to her saying I should stay here because it's more safer here, and she was indeed correct because the roof of our home is gone, and I still can't go down because there isn't any space or anywhere I could stay or support. I am left heartbroken due to everything that we have lost and how far I've come. And now I have to start all over, but I'm giving God thanks that I am alive and well.
The Category 5 hurricane left a trail of destruction. Many homes without roofs, roads blocked, and communities cut off. Now these students are waiting for word on when it will be safe to return home.
The roof is gone and most of the items in the house is wet. I would need assistance in materials in like building back the roof.
Amid the uncertainty, support has been growing. Donors from across Portland have been delivering food, supplies, and personal items to students whose families were impacted, offering relief as they wait for the all clear.
We want to thank our case family for going above and beyond to get our donors here today to support our students who were affected by Hurricane Melissa. Now, if you want to give a donation to our case students, you can contact us at publicrelations@case.edu.gm, or you can call us at
876-423-9582.
The college administration says it's working to coordinate safe travel with students stuck in Western Jamaica. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Also in Portland, fishermen in the Prospect Fishing Village are working to rebuild after Hurricane Melissa destroyed much of their livelihoods. Many say they've lost the majority of their fishing tools, equipment that will cost a hefty sum to replace. Kevin Black continues.
We're trying to get back ourselves together right now. After the hurricane and everything.
Along the shoreline in Prospect, Port Antonio, it's a scene of slow recovery, with boats hauled ashore and damaged gear scattered across the bay. According to fisherman Leroy Wilson, they are trying to salvage whatever they can after the destructive passage of Hurricane Melissa.
Yeah, man, we lose like 25 fish pots, you see? And little ravels, not gonna say much. You understand, but the fish pot more essential more than certain things that we used to earn our daily living, you know what I mean? But through the program, we are trying our best to see if we can get over this, you know what I mean?
The fishermen say recovery is slow and replacement gear is expensive. For many families in Prospect, fishing is their sole source of income.
I'm just trying to cope, you know. I'm just trying to cope and see why the next step, you know. I have no plans, yeah, but I have a hope to get up back on my feet, yeah? So I don't know where the system have for us. Actually, 70,000. Get back on something together. Now I go put no big. If me get more than that, I'm grateful, but 70 good.
Many of the fish pots were swept out to sea, nets were shredded, and for several men, even their boat engines were flooded or destroyed.
My last 95% of my fish pot them. As you notice, behind me, I repair back right now. I may have to cut off a couple of them well I see bottom a while ago. The only help more I really want right now, I have to just get back some wire. Get back some fish pot wire right now. Would do me a major help right now.
The fishermen are appealing to the government and other relevant authorities for urgent support to rebuild before their livelihoods slip away with the tide. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Still in East Portland, concerns are mounting among local raftsmen who say they're struggling to stay afloat amid declining visitor numbers and limited support for the tourism sector. The men shared their challenges and called for greater assistance to sustain their livelihoods. Our reporter Kevin Black has the latest.
TPD could do not treat raft captain the way they should treat raft captain.
In East Portland, calls are being made for greater tourism support by raftsmen who are struggling to maintain their livelihoods. Our news team visited the area to get a closer look at the situation. Speaking with captain of the Raft Captains Association, Lawrence Chisholm, who shared their struggles and concerns about the decline in tourism activity.
Right now, for me personal, almost a month I'm going to get a job. So we are facing a difficulty right now. Man, all they can pay them bills. If you don't have other sources to really deal with, to make a living, you have a problem. You know, the main thing I say about this thing with the TPD, who represent drafting, them now get them paycheck from the tourism, from the tourists that go down the river. If them did not get them paycheck out of the influence of the tourists that go down the river, they would have paid more attention to this. But when the tourists come here and what they are them paycheck we get. So they care not about we.
They also expressed frustration over the lack of consistent visitors and limited government assistance, noting without stronger support, their once thriving trade could be at risk of fading away.
We don't get no support from nobody, you know. The only good people come on board can really support we are the Red Cross. Red Cross are the only people. Even when we have the disaster the last time, we will come up, we up on top, take the whole of the raft them. The only people come on board can assist us are Red Cross now. Not even the people we work with. Rio Grande rafting are the backbone for East Portland. The backbone of Portland and a whole. They are the first place rafting ever start. At Rio Grande. And if you don't have Rio Grande as your main priority, you're not doing no representative.
Another raft captain we spoke with expressed piercing words of disdain towards the Tourism Product Development Company Limited, TPDCO, who supervises their activities.
Nobody treat anybody the way TPDCO treat raft captain. Then treat raft captain way below human level. One man now we call him body. He must 77 and he's still pushing it. He foot sick. And he can't resign. We can have nothing to live off of. And TPD go taking this thing like it's a joke. This is not a joke. But me can't tell them. Me have something for them. Them better put on my money. Because when me ready to resign.
The raftsmen of Rio Grande are seeking greater support from the tourism ministry moving forward. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Several workers are now jobless after a popular Montego Bay restaurant was damaged during the recent hurricane. But the manager says they are making plans to rebuild stronger. Carla Ramdeen reports.
Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, is assuring residents that food aid is being distributed properly, refuting claims by the St. James Southern MP Nikisha Burchell that people in the constituency are not receiving assistance.
We have 17 councillors here. Some are PNP, some are JLP. But whatever they are, it does not affect how the distribution is done. They all receive care packages and they all are asked to coordinate with the other groups, with other entities, and ensure that those who need it, they receive it.
Mayor Vernon explains that the St. James Municipal Corporation has partnered with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security with support from the JDF and JCF to step up relief efforts across the parish.
Our Poor Relief Department, the social workers that work within that department, they have all come together to create several teams across the municipality, 17 teams. And they are the teams that are responsible for the distribution of food, organizing, stocking, dispatch. We have received support from the Jamaica Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force to dispatch food, and food has been dispatched to all 17 divisions. To date, we have distributed at least 5,000 care packages through the program that we have undertaken, and I know that several entities that are donating food, the humanitarian groups, and volunteers who are coming in from different sections of Jamaica distributing food together would account for at least 8,000 packages distributed in St. James alone.
He adds that his priority remains supporting vulnerable groups and ensuring aid reaches those who are most in need.
My concern is that we have reached out to several of the vulnerable groups, but we need to do more for those vulnerable groups, and we will do more for those vulnerable groups. I'm speaking to our registered poor, or homeless, or disabled persons, and or elderly persons, senior citizens. And I will be meeting with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security reps again, one with responsibility for persons with disabilities, one with responsibility for persons who are registered senior citizens, and our poor relief officer who has responsibility for the registered poor, to ensure that we continue to prioritize these groups and that they get the needed assistance that they should get.
On water restoration, Mr. Vernon says the NWC is carrying out assessments and implementing measures to restore water supply to affected communities. Areas like Garlands, which rely on alternative water systems, have been reviewed and plans are being put in place to ensure residents have access.
Falmouth section, where the water is coming in from Falmouth, they call it the Marterbury water supply system. They have done some repair work to that section, and we should have a better situation, say, by about early next week. But NWC will provide the detailed updates and ensure that the residents who need access, they can get access. In the Catronall area, they have set up a water shop, so the persons in West Green and Catronall should be receiving water soon.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
With broken glass and missing roof patches entering their houses of worship, ministers of religion from Trelawney attest that their faith will not be shaken by the storm. Spiritual stalwarts in Falmouth gathered this past Sunday to regroup and reflect on the storm they were praying against exactly 1 week prior. Crystal Williams reports.
God is our refuge, our help, and our protector. These were the comforting words from Bishop Lloyd Lawrence as he addressed the Falmouth New Testament Church of God in Trelawney Sunday. He says, though losses experienced may be unfortunate, God is still in charge.
Each of us, whether you're saved or unsaved, take an inward look, an inward protection, and to see if all is well with your soul and God. Because the storm proved that things can happen rapidly, and we can lose our life or other things can happen. But the bottom line to the whole thing that happened from my perspective is that God is still in control.
The clergyman says serving God does not exempt a country from disaster, but adds these challenges call for a deeper look within.
Because these circumstances come upon us, it's both applicable to both save and unsaved. So the bottom line that I said, and I repeat, we need to take an introspection. For the Christian, draw nearer to God, and the unsaved, give your heart to the Lord. That if anything, you should die, anything, your soul will be okay. Right.
Bishop Lawrence says, based on the damage Trelawney suffered, the contrasting turnout in church was a good sign.
You know, this storm hit terribly in this year. And if you should, I have been around and seen so many houses without roof and some people, their belongings on the outside. And I have been here when the water flood cover the whole road right up. So I've seen it. It had been devastating. So for this amount of person to come out is encouraging to you as a leader.
Meanwhile, Reverend Junior Russell of the Agape Christian Fellowship in Falmouth assures Trelawney mash up, but God is real, as he compares the past week's Category 5 hurricane to a previous health crisis that swept the nation with heavy impact.
We beat COVID, so Category 5 didn't take lives like COVID did in Jamaica and around the world. They said it's an unprecedented storm, but we serve an unprecedented God. Therefore, we can't go in hiding.
Reverend Russell shares that reports of churches being destroyed do not perturb the church, as this will prove as an example on how to come back from the worst.
We show them what it is to go there and come back and be victorious. Yeah? So churches being destroyed is nothing new. I mean, Job had his worst experience. But guess what? Seemed like he was one who was chosen to come back and show the world how we can do it together.
He gave another example.
Let's take Christ himself. He came back from the dead. Experience. God is big, he's great. And even if we have to go through storms and face situations, we become examples to the rest of the world that we can come back and we can be victorious amidst Melissa, whoever they may be. Victorious is our God. So we're standing strong in Falmouth, declaring that Jesus Christ is still Lord.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
More CVM News at 7 in just a moment.
Everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than...
Welcome back. Due to Hurricane Melissa, farming forward was delayed. We are back, and as promised, here's part 2 of an informative segment on the operations of Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, on all things coffee. Drissel Mills is here to take you on this journey.
Welcome
to Farming Forward. Last week, we covered some of the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority's operations. This week, as promised, we are in the lab where all the magic happens. Meet Tracy and Francis, Manager of Quality Assurance Standards and Certification in the Quality Assurance Department.
What most of the viewers will know coffee as is in this form, which is the roasted beans.
Okay.
We actually receive the sample as green beans. This is how we receive the sample in the lab. And when the sample comes to us from our licensed dealer, then our lab technician will then code the sample and prepare the sample for us for it to be assessed. So there are a number of assessments that goes into the process, even though we're going to focus on one very important one today. But just to inform you, we do a percentage moisture. This is your moisture meter. So we do the percentage moisture. And we also do defects. Apart from defects and moisture, we also check for the color, we check for the bean size, and so on. We check for those parameters because there is a standard to which the coffee must meet to be qualified as Jamaica Blue Mountain or Jamaica High Mountain.
Why test the coffee's moisture? One would think these are just beans or grains. Why does it matter?
Having the moisture content or knowing the moisture content speaks to the stability of the bean while it is in its resting phase. If you have too high of a moisture or too low of a moisture, then in terms of storage, you could have problems developing. You could have mold growth, or you could have the coffee being very brittle. And so when you go into the roasting process and the tasting process, the flavor is different. So it's nice to have a nice balanced moisture. What is recommended is between 10 to 12.5%.
Testing the moisture is one step. Now we move on to testing for defects from the sample.
So you can scoop up some.
Scoop up anything? Like about this much?
A little bit more.
Okay. Because my hand heavy, you know. See me tell you?
You have to hold it at an angle.
Okay.
And then you're going to pour it in here. Now we have 100 grams. And then we're going to do our defects from this 100 grams. We use this black roll and we test it under the light so we can see the beans properly.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is spread it out and continuously turn the beans so we can see, like, when I spread it out or turn it, the beans can turn on each side so we can see the defects wherever they are.
The defects we are searching to identify are damage to the green by the coffee berry borer, as well as paleness. Just a reminder, the coffee berry borer is a pesky little black bug that damages the coffee beans. Once they are identified, the defective grains are weighed and the percentage is written on the sample bag. Ms. Francis explains why this is done.
The standards tells you that what percentage based on the grade of the bean, it will tell you what is acceptable. For a premium grade like a Jamaica Blue Mountain #1, the acceptable defect level is 3% maximum. For a non-premium grade, which would be like a Jamaica Blue Mountain Select, the acceptable defect level is 5%. After we would have done the assessment, we retain the sample for a year. Just in case, after the coffee has been exported, if there are any queries, then we will go back to our retained sample to do further analysis based on what the query or issue is.
We have reached the end of this week's episode, but before we go, we are sending love and light to all farmers who were negatively impacted by Hurricane Melissa. We will rebuild. Join us the next week for more on this coffee series. I'm Druselle Mills and this was Farming Forward.
In international news, BBC Director General Tim Davie and CEO of News Deborah Turness have resigned over a documentary about Donald Trump. The Telegraph had published the details of a leaked internal BBC memo suggesting Panorama edited two parts of Trump's speech together, so he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riots of January 2021. In a statement, Davie says, quote, "There have been some mistakes made, and as Director General, I have to take the ultimate responsibility," unquote. Meanwhile, more than 900,000 people in the Philippines have been evacuated as a super typhoon called Feng Wong arrives. Details from the BBC.
Known as Feng Wong, the typhoon crossed the coastline in the country's north at 9:10 in the evening local time. Video of this suspension bridge